I was producing a young guy on Capitol called Billy Elder. And I was going through our catalog of songs to see what might be appropriate for Billy. And I came across a song called Angel on My Shoulder, which was written by a little girl called Shelby Flint, and she did the demo. And I listened to that song, and I'd forgotten about it. It was just terrific, and it touched me. I don't know why, but it just really emotionally touched me. And I thought, you know, she sounds great on this song. So I took it into the office the next day and played it for my partner. I said, Billy, this does something to me. I think we should take a shot. Let's go into the studio with Shelby and record this song. He said, whatever you think, man, I love it. Let's do it. Now, it took a little courage because we're right in the middle of rock and roll. And this was a very beautiful, sensitive little ballad with a girl and playing the guitar. But it hit me. So I went into Gold Star Studios, this famous Gold Star. I had a rhythm section. I had 3 string players come in and overdub about 4 times, you know, saving money wherever I could. And I recorded this little song called Angel on My Shoulder. And it just killed me. I just loved it. So I came back to my partner. I said, Bill, you want to do something crazy? Let's start a record company and put this sucker out. Because no one's going to buy it. You know, it has nothing to do with what's happening. It's not rock and roll. We'll never be able to sell it to another label. Let's just start a record company on a hunch and see if anyone salutes it. So we started a record company. In those days, it took about $500 to start a record company. You designed a label, you went to a pressing plant, you did the masters, and they pressed up about 500 or 1,000 units for you. And that's what we did. And in those days also, independent record companies were distributed by independent distributors. So we sent this record out to about 10 distributors, and hoping that, you know, they would be interested in it, take it to a radio station, we'd have something happening. Well, nothing happened. And I was in San Francisco promoting Dorsey Burnett's new record. Now, in those days, publishers actually got out there and promoted records as well. And so I was in San Francisco at the #1 rock and roll station, talking to the program music director, Bill Ennis. And I was playing him all our new recordings, and he was nodding, okay, good, I'll take that into the meeting, and everything like that. And when our meeting was done, I said, Bill, can I play you something just to get your reaction to it? He said, sure. So I took out this little record on Valiant Records, that's what we called our company, by Shelby Flint. He put it on, and I'll never forget, this very delicate, pretty little vocal and song came on, and he was standing at his desk. I remember his fingers were like this, and he was listening. He would have made a great poker player because I couldn't tell what he was thinking. He was just sitting there listening. And I said, uh-oh, I'm not sure he's liking this. He's just being courteous or something. Anyway, in the middle of the record, he turned around, took it off. I said, well, of course, you know. He says, do you have distribution in San Francisco on this? I said, well, no. He said, would you like distribution in San Francisco? He says, because I'm going to make this my pick of the week. I said, you're kidding. He said, no. Would you like distribution? I said, yeah. He picked up the phone. Hello? I'm making a song pick of the week, my pick of the week. Would you like to distribute it? Bang. That guy was there 10 minutes later. And we set the distribution. And Angel on My Shoulder became a huge hit in San Francisco. But that was just San Francisco, you know, nowhere else. So my partner and I were in the office. Now we said, now what do we do? And we were there with a guy called Terry Gilkinson, who had a big hit called Mary Ann at the time, a calypso hit. Terry said, look, why don't I call Warner Brothers and I'll tell them that you've got a hit going in San Francisco. So we said, great idea. So he called a guy called Herb Hendler at Warner Brothers Records. And he talks to him and he says, hey, by the way, I hear Barry and Billy have something going. He says, yeah, what? He says, I got a big hit going in San Francisco. Well, all right. I'll check it out. Then he hung up the phone. Now the three of us stood in the office and the phone rings. I pick it up. Hello? Barry, Herb Hendler. Hey, Herb, how are you doing? He said, I hear you got something going in San Francisco. I said, Herb, how did you know that? He said, I got my sources. Anyway, we set up a meeting. We met with Warner Brothers. They agreed to distribute it, and it became a national hit. That was the first record out on our label, on a very unlikely hit, which I think kind of is what this business is all about. Sometimes if you just go outside the box, it really works.